am live. Hello, beautiful people in Everyday Sacredness. Welcome, welcome to day 2. So when you get on the call, just say hello. And as you see, you might see that this is powered through StreamYard. It's at the very top of my picture. And when you guys comment, I think you have to give, just like if you want, you could give StreamYard permission to show me your name. But please say hi when you get on the call. If you want, you can write where you're calling from, or just say hello, just so I know that you're here and that you could hear me. And I'm looking forward to tonight's call. It's going to be a big one. And so, yeah, the comments are also delayed, but I'm waiting just to make sure that people are getting on the call. We got one hi. Hi to you. Fantastic. A few people are on the call. Great. So I hope that everyone had a decent day. And tonight's subject is all about the heart. So it's a really big one. I'm really excited to dive deep into the subject of the heart. And how are you guys doing? Did you enjoy the class last night? Did you sleep well? Sometimes it's just nice to hear a little bit from you guys. And you could always write afterwards in the chat as well, so I know how you're doing. And I could offer some support and some guidance in that too. And it's always nice to get feedback. Facebook Lives are really funny if any of you guys do them, because you are talking to yourself. So the chat makes it feels a little bit more personable that I'm not talking to a screen, and I can see all these nice hellos from Montreal. Anybody not from Montreal on the call tonight? Just where you're calling in from. And I'm sure that there's some people who are going to watch this call later on. So tonight we're going to be talking about the heart. So the magic of the heart. And the heart, we know, is our place where we feel, where we carry also a lot of residue of past trauma, of moments of extreme ecstasy and love. It's like we know when we have a heart opening moment, when we're with somebody that we love, our heart just feels like it's going to explode. And then our heart also feels like it's going to really contract. So the heart goes in both of these directions. So the heart in yoga is really the center home of consciousness, the home of the soul. And we're here tonight to dive in a little bit about how does the heart work and what does the yoga philosophy talk about the heart. So I thought I would start off actually by reading a little bit from, this is my teacher, Paul Moeller Ortega, and he wrote this book called The Triadic Heart of Shiva. So it's a very dense book. If anybody knows Paul, so he's a professor and his writing is quite dense. But I am going to read something not too dense, something that is light, and it just describes a little bit about the heart. So the Vedic term for the heart is hridaya. It occurs over 100 times in the Rig Vedas. So 1, the heart is the organ with which one is able to see what is denied to the physical eye. 2, the heart is the organ by means of which one comes in touch with the gods. So these are translations from the verses of the Rig Vedas. It is the heart which enables a human being to penetrate into deep secrets and mysteries. By finding or in the heart the light of higher insight and contact with the transcendent one becomes an all-seeing knower. So the heart is really this place, the hridaya is very much the very center of our bodies. When we think about it, the heart is a giver, right? The heart is the giver that it pumps and gives blood to the organs of the body. The heart is also extremely interconnected with the lungs. So you cannot separate actually these two. They are really one embedded in the other. So the lungs are what helps us and allows us to breathe. And the heart pumps blood throughout our system, circulation throughout our system. So when we practice yoga, we are really allowing for that circulation from the very center of our hearts out to the extremities and to allow for the blood to be better pumped in our bodies. So that's one of our practices, really how we move our bodies, we pump our bodies, we keep our heart healthy. And also in yoga, it's really important, as you guys know, posture. Because if somebody is in a state of depression, we know what happens, right? The heart gets caved in. And we have a lot of pressure on closing, actually physically, the heart. And in yoga, we practice a lot of back bending poses to open up our hearts, physically open up our hearts. So just take a moment to think about, where you are at with your hearts. How are you allowing yourself to feel your feelings? And for a lot of us, we could actually even remember a time where we strayed from our hearts, where we got hurt and we shut down and we closed our heart. Could you guys relate to that? Time in your life where you got so hurt that you just said, no, I don't want to feel anymore, and you shut down. I think this happens to a lot of us in our lives. And what happens is that we forget that we shut down. We forget that we closed ourselves to loving ourselves. We really forgot that within this heart, like I read, is the God consciousness. So this time right now where we're in a state of trauma, that the whole world right now is in a state that we've never been in, and there's a lot of fear. Well, that fear is also collected in our hearts. So let's start off right now by first comes to first, we're going to give ourselves a hug. So take your arms and wrap them around. I have a little speaker here, but hopefully you'll still hear me. Wrap them right into your armpits. So in your armpits lies the meridian of the heart. Right into your armpits. Give yourself a big squeeze. It might hurt a little bit because there's a lot of lymph in there. Squeeze right into your armpits and don't let your chest cave in. And could you take a moment and soften? So let's just close our eyes. We didn't do our grounding yet, so just close your eyes. And allow yourself to feel your breath. And allow yourself to be here completely in this moment. We're here to reset, to understand how to live more from our hearts. Good. And then take your hands and bring them into the Namaste gesture, which we all know. It's that balancing gesture from the right and the left side of the body. And then we're going to do a beautiful mudra. So we're going to keep the middle finger straight, which the middle finger is the meridian of the pericardium, which is the sheath around the heart, the protector of the heart. So you could bend now your second and pinky fingers. Keep the third finger up, the middle finger, and then close the other two fingers. It's sort of hard to show you. I don't think I could show you. So my middle finger is facing up, and all other four fingers are facing down. So this is one of the great mother goddesses mudras. I forgot the name, but I'll put it down later on. But take a moment and widen your elbows a little bit and just see, how does this feel, this mudra? So the third, that middle finger, press contact from your pads of your middle finger one into the other. So you're really working on stretching the skin of your middle finger. And this mudra is calling in the protection of the mothers. And the middle fingers raised up is the end line of the pericardium, which is the protector of the heart. It protects the heart. So know that you are protected. So take your thumbs now. I'm going to extend them. And the thumbs are part of the lung meridian. And place those right now into the sternum bone. And take a moment and just gently repeat to yourself, I am safe. I am safe. I'm safe to feel. Safe to love. I'm safe to express. I'm safe to be joyous. I'm safe to feel. And just take a moment and just bow and honor yourself. Bow the head to the heart. And bowing always to the great heart, to the great center. How many times in yoga have you bowed to your heart? Really bowed in to your heart. So the heart is the home of compassion. And it was actually really interesting. When I woke up this morning, Eric and I opened up some tarot cards, and this is the tarot card that I picked. So I wanted to show it to you. It's Kuan Yin, the Chinese goddess of compassion. And on the card, it says, release judgments about yourself and others, and focus on the light, focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So just take a moment, I'm going to reread that. Release judgments about yourself and others, and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So just take a moment and just notice how that lands for you. So I don't know about you, but releasing judgment, not to others, but to myself. How many times am I closing my heart to myself, to loving myself, to holding myself in that fierce compassion? So again, just like last night, we were talking about reset as starting from anew. It's so important to really think about what we are holding back in the heart. And Christina wrote, she has protected me so much, Kuan Yin. Yes, she is powerful. And I know Mindy is on the call from California, and she made me a beautiful mala with Kuan Yin on it. So sometimes we need to wear things to remind ourselves of kindness to oneself. So as we move into a next practice, I want you to really take a moment to really think about how you could begin to reset your heart from yourself. Like opening up to love. And yes, I'll write down the name. Somebody's asking me I guess you're meaning the name of Kuan Yin. I will write that down. Or if you want the name of Mindy, who makes the malas, she'll put it in a link to that. So not exactly sure what the question was. But we're here to open up. You know, the whole practice of yoga is to come home to your essence. The whole practice of life is to be in love. And I don't know about you, but I love books. And as I was thinking of this class tonight, I went into my bookshelf and I have the most amazing books about love. So if you guys also love reading, you could put in your favorites. I guess probably my favorite book on love is The Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. But if you guys have some of your favorites on how to practice coming home to love, and put them in the chat, because we could all support each other. You know, this group is called Everyday Sacredness. It's to return to sacred living. We don't do it alone. So the next part of the session tonight, I wanted to actually do a guided meditation and totally free for you guys to lie down for this part if you wish. But before you lie down, I actually want to one more little thing that's maybe a little bit more physical, but I think it's really interesting, and I just love details on so many levels. So you could see my collarbones. I have pretty prominent collarbones, and I'm getting a hot flash as you could see my chest turning bright red. That's exciting too. New time in my life, turning 50 next week. So right on top of my collarbones are, everyone, you can put your fingers here too, are at the top of your lungs. So just feel that sensitivity. Actually, your lungs rise up above your collarbones. And then I actually want you to crawl down with your fingers. And I want you to take a moment and come right into your sternum. Because this is the area and the home and the cave of your heart, guys. And I want you to give yourself a little bit of love here, gentle love. You have to be pretty soft here, this tissue. But sometimes I really feel that the more that I could experience touch, I could also soften my heart, soften the resistance to closing down. So take a moment and just feel, how does that feel to touch yourself in the centermost part of your heart? And to me, it actually feels so exquisite to be able to know that this is the home of the heart. And the home is that the heart is really domed in here, in that beautiful, precious pericardium, the protector of the heart. So with that now, I want you to just take a moment, if you need a sip of water, and lie down. And I'm going to read a really beautiful guided meditation by the teacher Sarah Blondin. Some of you might know her, but I'll put the reference later on where I'm reading this from. So the credit goes to her. But for now, I want you guys either to sit down, or you could do this lying down, because this is whatever is going to feel better for you to receive this message of resetting the heart. And I'm just going to go take a sip of water before we continue. So one sec, gotta unplug. Plug it back in. And I hope great. If you can't hear me, you could just write. So find that comfortable position to receive the blessing of this evening's practice. So the name of the book that I'm reading this from is called Heart Minded, and I will put it in our notes for this evening. So first we must begin by tending the precious heart, healing the disharmony from within, so we are free to let go of our suffering and enter the door to our true peacefulness. So for now, I want you to make yourselves comfortable. Close your eyes and move into a state of calm receptivity. Place one hand on your heart and another on your forehead. This makes a bridge between your heart and your mind. Dear mind, I bow to you and honor your great powers and tireless work you do for me. You are a part of me and I love you. But I wish for you not to continue to look for the things that hurt me. We must stop repeating that which does not serve. I choose to move into my undefended and fearless heart. Mind, when you start producing thoughts that squelch my joy, I ask that you stop and stand as a fortress of love for me, repeating not the negative stories of self-protection, but the mantra that love is all I need and desire. Please align with me in the tenderness of my being, always in the soft animal of my heart's deep knowing. Do not look for pain in hope to eradicate it, but instead take what hurts and stop it from spinning. You are my ally and my friend. I love you, mind. We are here to help one another, and this is how you could serve me. Please and thank you. Now take both your hands and place them on your heart. I want you to leave your mind behind. You could do this by letting all your thoughts go. Let your identification as a mother, as a daughter, go. Leave what you are proud of, what you can't forget, what you keep reliving. Leave it now. You can let these things go. Enter the empty, sacred space right here in front of you. Bend your head down slightly as if you are bowing to your heart, and gently lean into your heart center. Allow yourself to deeply rest in this position of surrender. Feel your heart open more fully with each moment you spend with it. Feel your heart open. Give it room for movement. Let it hold you. Notice, while there may be a lot going on for you, you too can take refuge in the heart. It is always ready and always willing to hold and support you. This heart of yours wants to give you a message. Listen now to this message from your heart. May I remind you of my service to you. You may put down what is heavy and come to me when you feel most afraid or in need of love. I am here at your beck and call. Please do not work so hard at keeping me safe, for I can never be broken. Work to soften the walls built around me, and I will fill you with reward and relief. Whatever you are in need of, I will give you. There are no wars to be fought. There is nothing to run from. For my gift to you is to soothe these very things and to alleviate your burden. This is why I'm here. My service is a gift to you. So just take a moment and just take those words in, allowing yourself to surrender a little deeper in the safety of your body and in the openness to feel and to allow for love, for expansion. The heart is a giver. It wants to give to you. Your job is to receive, to allow. So take one more breath. And if you want, you could continue laying there and just filling yourself up with that gift of fullness and of love for self, compassion for self. And if you choose to sit up, if anybody wanted to share something before we close the circle, we could do a little sharing now. But if you're feeling really full, then just stay in that fullness. It's one of the greatest gifts, to stay in that state of love, altruistic love, love as in the state of consciousness. I know this is always for you to return to, that opening up, that being present in the very center of your soul, which is the heart, the hiridia. The pericardium is the one protecting it. You are the one to really open, feel, expand, and live very much from that center of love. So I am wishing you guys all a blessed, blessed evening. I would love to hear how that experience was. Feel free to write me in the chat. And tomorrow night, we're going to do a little bit of work on the mind reset. So I hope you guys could join me. Namaste, Brandy.